let's look at the same thing, but now for objectivity. Remember, objectivity is, in my own words, saying things as you see them. It's being honest to your heart that what actually happens, what you actually see as an internal auditor, you can just present them. And also, you don't have any doubts in your mind, so you can honestly say them without thinking, well, I do this, I did see this, but it wouldn't be a good idea for me to, present this as a finding. Well, that would be a breach to your objectivity, which of course is a breach to the code of ethics. The requirements for internal auditor objectivity include, so functional independence from management. Now here we're kind of seeing things from a different perspective from independence, but you understand that if you're independent from management, it also allows you to be objective. Okay, so this is both for independence and objectivity. If you are not independent as an internal audit function, then maybe the senior internal auditor on the team might have hesitations about reporting things that they've learned about, because if they do, they have fear that they're going to be reported, all the way up to the CEO. Oh, yeah, we heard, Chief Audit Executive, that there was this, troublesome little senior on your team. Well, yes, but maybe they just acted objectively as the way they saw. So you need to be functionally independent from management to be able to be objective. Adherence to the standards and code of ethics. Yeah, well, of course, because being objective is part of the code of ethics. Adhering to the standards means that you are not compromising your judgment in any way to arrive at the result that you see as an internal auditor. The absence in appearance or fact of any conflict of interest. Now, appearance means that technically you have not been influenced in any way, at least it looks like that, by an improper relationship or conflict of any sort. So, for instance, if you have a problem in your reporting line to management and the board, there could be a conflict of interest. And that would be a conflict in appearance, because any quality assessment and improvement program looking at internal audit would see, okay, now there I see it. You have problems in your reporting line. You are not going to be able to be fully compliant with the IAE standards because your reporting line is improper. Now that's in appearance, but in fact can be a lot worse. You can have everything perfect on paper, but paper isn't worth anything if it's not followed through. If you can feel pressure because maybe the board is weak, maybe you're weak to report things to the board, maybe you just don't feel that you should say things as they are. There are some famous internal audit scandals around the world where they'd have perfect internal audit charters and very horrible internal audit practices. Having an objective mindset. Very simple. What I said, you put it down on paper exactly as you see it. Disciplined and systematic procedures. Okay, why? Because in disciplined and systematic procedures, you are, for instance, going to go through a full review process. That review process means that you have a second person verifying your work. If they encounter the same problem and are objective when, fingers crossed, you were potentially not, then they will note that and say that that was a problem. So supervision is one of the ways of achieving better objectivity. So supervision, monitoring, quality assurance, also a type of disciplined approach, and applying safeguards when needed. The typical example being if you previously worked in accounting and are now an internal auditor, well, maybe the chief audit executive shouldn't place you on the internal audit assignment over accounting right after you get into the internal audit position. Huh?